Hello, everyone. My name is Paula, and today I would like to talk with you all about someone that I first heard about when I was in probably second or third grade in school. Um, and her name is Helen Keller. Um, I had to dig back in and refresh my memory a little because it's been so long. But I remembered her from my childhood, and her accomplishments. Just they it stuck with me. So I decided to do that on her. And I would like to point out the fact that Helen Keller she was not always blind and deaf. When she was just 19 months old, she developed an illness that resulted in both her blindness and her deafness. And back then, the way things were back then, they really did not pinpoint and diagnose things. They have new names now. Back then, it was diagnosed as brain fever, and that's just what the doctors called it. And as you can see here, this shows you what it can cause, and it gives you examples of when this can happen. This can happen throughout your life if you come down with this illness. But over the years, they have now renamed that, and they say that it is the same as scarlet fever or meningitis. So, what was known as brain fever then is what we know now as those two things, and they both can lead to blindness and deafness. So, I mean, can you imagine how she was? I mean, she from up till 19 months old, she was able to hear, she was able to see, she was able to communicate. Um, so she knew the way of living a normal life. So can you imagine the fear and the frustration that she felt and that she had as she grew up into a young girl? I mean, she went from seeing and hearing everything to not being able to see or hear at all. So her frustrations started to cause her to act out, especially those that were closest to her. She began to act out in anger because she was so frustrated um, that things were not her normal anymore. So as you can see on this slide, to she learned to identify family members and close friends by feeling their faces. And she would memorize those features to where she could connect it with each person. She would go by feeling the facial features, um, to the way somebody smells, their cologne. Since she was not able to see anymore, that was her only way to identify. She learned to do that so that she would know who she was talking to and the people that are around her. So during her frustrations, her parents and family decided to reach out to Alexander Graham Bell. And what he done, Alexander Graham Bell, he worked with blind and deaf people. So when they went to him, he was able to recommend that she get a teacher. So he suggested a young woman by the name of Anne Sullivan, and he suggested that they get her as Helen's teacher and mentor. But little did they know that this would change Helen Keller's life forever. Not only hers, but hers of her family, her friends, and many people around the world with disabilities. They just had no idea what they were about to do for this lady. So again, Helen Keller was best known as as a deaf blind girl who learned to communicate with the help of her teacher, Anne Sullivan. Anne Sullivan taught her to use Braille, and taught her to use her fingers. She would write letters like letters like this in the palm of her hand, and she called it finger spelling. And then, as you can see from the book at the top, she learned how to feel those letters on the books and read in Braille. So she had to put all of her trust and faith in her teacher. Uh, like for example, during this process, she was building up trust with her teacher, and she even went to the ocean. And I remember when I first learned about that, I was thinking, why would she go to the ocean? I mean, she can't see it and she can't hear it. So, what did she think about it? But what her teacher had done was she took her by the hand and she led her out into the water. And Helen's foot had slipped, somewhere in within that time her foot slipped out from under her, and her teacher grabbed her and caught her in her arms, and they went to the shore. So even though she was afraid, this is something that she found comfort when her teacher saved her. She kept her from falling. So she ended up being glad that she did do this. So as you can see here on this slide, she said, I could never stay long enough on the shore. The tang of the untainted, fresh, and free sea air was like a cool, quieting thought. So this is something that she learned to love. So she could see this in her mind, and she could feel this. So she was still able to feel the things that we feel, even though she could not see. So her ability to learn from those mistakes and persevere in the face of fear, that's a testament to her resilience and strength of character that Helen Keller had. So as we go on to slide 8 here, she displayed tremendous courage when facing daily challenges of her disabilities. Like many people presumed that she could not achieve anything great because she couldn't see, she couldn't hear, but that didn't stop her from trying. People were telling her that all that has been done, that she couldn't do anything else. She's gone as far as she can go. Then they said, no deaf or blind person has ever taken a college course. And so they asked her why she attempted what no one else has ventured to do. So they proceeded to tell her that even if she passed the entrance exams and was able to be in college, they said that she would never be able to pass because they pointed out that she would have no books and she couldn't hear lectures and that she couldn't even take notes for the classes. So they called her a fool for attempting something in which they all thought she would fail at. So as we go on here to the next slide, you can see, however, her happiness, it wasn't measured through her eyes and not the eyes of the world around her. Just because she couldn't see didn't mean she didn't have a vision. And she exemplified when defying the odds of her disabilities, and she refused to listen to them. She refused to accept the social norms for a person without the ability to hear or see. She just refused to let them do that to her. So later in life, as she started to advocate, and later in life, she was even presented with a Medal of Freedom and Honor from the president, and it was for her fight for the rights of people with disabilities. So in the end, her underlying devotion and desire to succeed proved to be the reason that she's been able to overcome all of these obstacles, because she had people in her life, a teacher in her life, just people that would push her and tell her, that she can be and do what she needs to succeed. So her lifelong dream was to be college educated. So not only did she accomplish that, but she become a renowned author, a public speaker. She founded the Helen Keller International, which is there to help against blindness and malnutrition, social justice, disability rights for women's suffrage. There were so many legacy that she left behind, so many changes, and her disability is what motivated her to advocate for disabled people. She even advocated for birth control. Her dreams in life was a life of learning, a life of social activism, and contributing to a better world. So she faced those fears, and did not let those disabilities limit her. So she was also a strict socialist, though. But like I said, she was an advocate for all those living with blindness or any type of disability impairment. So over the years, this led to a lot of schools opening for the deaf and blind, including a school here that we have here in Romney, West Virginia. And over the years, that school has grown to be a huge success. And today it serves many students of children with different disabilities and handicaps. So, she played a big part in the world today, and the fight against, the fight for people to be able to be treated equal, the fight to let everybody know that they are worth something. They cannot be told that they can't do something, because if they want to do it bad enough, they can do it. So later in life, though, Helen Keller, she suffered a series of strokes, and this due to these things, back in 1961, she spent the remaining years of her life um, at her Connecticut home, where she had passed away. She died in her sleep on June 1st in 1968, and she had a long life. She just a few weeks before her 88th birthday. So in conclusion, I want to thank you guys for listening to me. I know I went just a little bit over, but I hope that you enjoyed this presentation, because I really respect her and I have a lot of love for Miss Helen Keller. Thank you.